Good afternoon. I forgot to put on my watch, so I don't know what time it is. It's technically not noon yet.
Is it still morning?
I think so. We normally break our fast at noon, but honestly, guys, we have to go to the birthday party. And let me just tell you, we cannot go to this birthday party hungry.
No, because it's gonna be all sweets. I mean,
there's gonna be pizza and pigs in a blanket, which is like the little sausages wrapped in like a croissant or something. Tons of like pasta salads, dips. Like
yeah, see, I don't know what they're planning on having, but
there's a ton of stuff. Oh yeah, and cupcakes and ice cream cake and all that stuff. So we need to eat before we go. So Mike and I have made, this is literally just a hodgepodge of food.
Right, so on my plate, we have the leftover sausage and egg mix that we had the other night. I have half of a steak that my daughter got last night that she didn't want to eat. And then I have the leftover Old Carolina barbecue from 2 nights ago.
Right, and I have 2 egg life wraps, the 2 that were left last night with the filling, half of that steak, and the contents of a baggie bacon.
That's right.
So, and I also have my fat coffee, which you guys know has butter and egg in it.
And I have my fat water, which is crystal clear with nothing in it.
And I'm also going to take my electrolyte tablet and my D3K2 tablet.
Which I already took this morning, so I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna stuff ourselves now. I mean, it's only like 10 till noon, so we're not off by any stretch, but we're gonna stuff ourselves this morning.
Look at my shirt. It says Grammy of the birthday girl. We're having a Minnie Mouse birthday party, and he has the pawpaw of the birthday girl. Yep. I'll insert some pictures from the party after this little clip, and then we will come back later tonight. We will read our chapter in Dr. Barry's book. We'll talk about that, and we're also going to talk about February.
That's right.
Our plans for next month.
The long-awaited plans for February.
Yep. So we'll be back with you guys later. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
It is 7 o'clock and we just got home from the party and just did a quick meal for this evening. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry, we're trying to meal prep a little bit for the week, and I have hard-boiled eggs in the Instapot, and I forgot about them in there, so had to put them in an ice bath.
That's right.
So we just got home. We are sitting down to have dinner, something very simple. I know Mike's super happy, but we're having hamburgers.
Hamburgers. Hey, but it was my idea, actually.
Yeah, it was. Hamburgers with a fried egg and some bacon, and we have extra bacon. that Mike went ahead and cooked up so we'd have baggy bacon for the week.
Which reminds me about baggy bacon. Somebody asked on...
I just answered that question.
Yeah, they wanted to know what baggy bacon was, and
yeah,
I thought that was cool.
So baggy bacon is just basically pre-portioned little bags of bacon that we can take on the go with us when we are at work or in the car or whatever. And it's normally called, in the keto space, people say purse bacon. But Mike's like, I don't carry a purse, and so he kind of dubbed it baggy bacon. So in case you're wondering what baggy bacon is. But yeah, we made extra, you can see, and that will get bagged up, and hence baggy bacon.
And yeah, because I mean, we put it in little baggies and I take it to work and then she takes it with her. I get it. You put it in your purse. I mean, that's the theory behind it.
But it's just bacon you take with you on the go.
On the go, yep.
Yeah, so we are going to eat this. We survived the birthday party. Mike was getting super hungry towards the end, though.
I'm going to tell you guys, so you followed us all month, and we've had a couple of occasions where we've been at parties or at friends' house or whatever, and they've had just a spread of non-keto food. And up to this point, we have been strict and faithful and not given in to the temptation of all that other stuff. This was our granddaughter's birthday party, and it was the toughest, probably because it was our granddaughter's birthday, but also because we're so close.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting close to the end, and I'm not gonna lie, struggled hard, but we made it through.
So while we eat, it's getting late. We do want to talk about our February challenge. We've been saying this the last couple of days, and today was the day that we slotted to talk about it. We still have to read our chapter in Dr. Barry's book. We haven't been home all day, so we haven't done that yet. So after we're done with dinner, we're going to read our chapter, and then we will wrap up the video with just a quick discussion about whatever the chapter's about. I don't even know, because we haven't looked yet.
Here's the teaser I have.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay. What's it about?
Processed meat.
Oh.
And giving you cancer.
Isn't all meat processed, technically?
Well, I think they're talking about like Spam.
Oh.
Or something like that, I'm thinking, but...
I don't know, we'll find out. So yeah, spoiler alert on that. So my challenge for February, and you guys, a lot of people are actually starting beef, butter, bacon, and eggs in February, and that is awesome. We will be here to support you any way we can help you as a community, whether or not you're doing BBBE, you're doing carnivore, you're doing keto, ketovore. We're all here to support each other no matter what. But for us, for me, I don't know if Mike is going to follow everything that I'm laying out for myself, but these are my goals for February. And just let me preface this whole thing by saying I did beef, butter, bacon, and eggs in February last year. I lost 11 pounds. And then as soon as March 1st hit, I kind of went off the rails. I had felt, you know, restricted. I did it completely alone. I did not have the keto community behind me at that point. I hadn't even started my channel. Mike didn't do it with me. So I literally did it by myself. And as soon as March hit, I was just like, oh, I can have all the things. From the beginning of March to the end of March, I gained back all the 11 pounds that I had lost in February. My goal this year is to not do that. I have no idea how much weight I've lost because we haven't done our weigh-in yet. But regardless, when February 1st rolls around, I don't want to backslide and make the same mistake that I made last year. Alexa's calling me. Hold on one second. So as I was saying, last year when I did this, I did not have the support of my YouTube family. And what I mean by that is I hadn't started my YouTube channel and I didn't have all of you guys encouraging me. So this year is going to be different. This year for February, I'm doing a challenge called Love Keto, Love Yourself. And this is just basically reminding me that following a ketogenic diet is a way for me to love myself and take care of myself. My parameters for, ooh, I just got a spicy piece of pepper in there. Yeah, that's hot for me even. There's like a big hunk of pepper. So my goal for the month of February is to stay keto. Doing that means I will have no off-plan meals for the month of February. Mike and I do occasionally have off-plan meals and I always share that with you guys. But for the month of February, I want to go another month without having any off-plan meals. I feel really good right now with BBBE, and I just don't want to completely go the other way. I'm going to stay keto. We are going to continue to intermittent fast, which means we won't break our fast until noon, and we will try to be done eating by 7 p.m.
Right.
And we mentioned earlier, going to continue to try to eat our meals together in the evening.
This challenge of staying keto is an interesting challenge from my perspective because, as most of you know, I have followed what I call a keto flexible.
Look, it says keto flexible.
Right.
Dawn does keto.
I have followed that primarily since I started doing keto almost 2 years ago. And the reason for that is because I'm in a little different situation than Dawn is and many of you. I have learned over the course of these 2 years, especially now that the keto community is a big part of our lives, going to Keto Palooza, knowing and learning that keto, as wonderful as it is what you make it. In other words, you can tailor make your keto lifestyle to fit your needs. Some things are not sustainable, and we've learned that. So I'm going to...
Not sustainable for certain people.
For certain people, right. And that's what I mean. It's keto specific, really, to each person. And because of my situation, I can do occasional off-plan meals. And I normally don't do those unless we go out to dinner. And because we are very social, we do like to go out with our friends, frequently, I will probably then have my off-plan meal. I will also make sure that Dawn helps keep me still within some parameters. In other words, I'm not going to go and just like scarf down a whole pizza.
Right.
I'm still going to eat reasonably, but if we have an off-plan meal, we'll know ahead of time, and I will make sure that I don't get nuts with it, because for me, it's sustainable. I know it's not the healthiest way to go, but the whole point is to not do something that we can't do forever down the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to put myself in that position. Now, I do want to support Dawn in this challenge. So, of course, when we're at home together, I mean, you know I'm going to be right there with you.
We eat keto.
And I think us eating together will help, because we weren't for a long time. You would be working or I would be working.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to help us as well.
Part of staying keto and for the month of February to be a clean keto, which means I'm not going to do any keto treats or snacks as well. Keto treats and snacks are off the table. The only extra I'm going to have is keto chow. So I will allow a creamy, I will allow a keto chow shake or keto chow pudding. Mm-hmm. So those will be the only like snacks that I'm going to have, and they will either be a meal or I will have them with a meal, because I'm going to continue to do no snacking in between meals. Right. So a clean form of keto with no snacking and continue intermittent fasting for the month of February. I am still going to do a weekly video. My normal videos always come out on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. I will continue to go forward with that. Mm-hmm. And I will also weigh in once a week. So you will start seeing my weekly weigh-ins again that I did before.
And struggles and successes.
Yeah, we always talked about our week and our struggles and successes.
And if I can jump in here, I don't know how you feel about it, but if you would like, I can also share my struggles and successes, because we have different struggles. Dawn and I do all the time. I mean, today was one of them. Like, I was struggling today.
I didn't struggle as much.
I did. I'm just going to be honest with you, because I wanted to partake.
We ate pretty well before we left, so I wasn't hungry. And honestly, there wasn't much there that really looked like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. I was okay.
And that's the reason why I say that, because it's just different. Everybody's different. I do a weigh-in every week as well. I just don't usually reveal it. But
he writes it on the calendar every week.
Right,
so.
And that way Dawn and I can talk about it later in the day or whatever. But I'll do that as well, because I think that's going to be helpful. I think for both of us. I think you and I going into this together and doing it step by step together will be beneficial for both of us.
Yeah. So we've also been toying with the idea of putting up an extra video every week. So instead of just doing my one normal Tuesday video, that maybe we would do one partway through the week, maybe like on Friday or Saturday. We want it to be like this, where we sit down and enjoy a meal and we get to talk to you guys a little bit. So Mike came up with the idea, and if you guys have other ideas, we would love to hear them. But the idea was dinner with Dawn, and then we were going to put and Mike like at the end of it, just because dinner with Dawn kind of...
It just sounds good.
Yeah. So it would just be like us having a meal like once a week and sitting down and chatting with you guys. So let us know what you think about that. If that's something you would be interested in us trying to put out. And if you have a different maybe idea of a name, toss that out there too, because I'd like to hear it.
We've read a lot of we'll read all the comments. Dawn reads all the emails. And there's been a lot of talk about when this is over, when BBBE is over and we're not doing the daily videos, that a lot of people are going to miss that. This became a lot bigger than we anticipated as far as the support and the interest. And because of that, I mean, we would love to say we could do one every day. There's no way. It's not sustainable. That is not sustainable for us in our lifestyle. There's just no way. This was very difficult. We've enjoyed it, but it's been tough. That's why we talked about maybe doing 2 or just putting out 2. I don't want to say we. I may not always be in a video because it just depends on our schedule and how things work out.
But if we do the dinner one, then you would for sure be in there.
Yeah, so the dinner one being the second one. But that being said, we want to be there for you guys as well because we don't want to just, cut you off. Basically is what it boils down to. Because
many of you are starting a challenge in February.
A lot of you are starting BBBE from what I've seen.
And we want to be able to support you guys through that.
Right.
Which again, you don't have to just comment on a video. You can always send me an email, and I try very hard to reply back to all comments, all emails. So that's it, guys. Love keto, love yourself. And it's going to be a clean form of keto with intermittent fasting and no snacking and no keto treats. Again, the only extra will be keto chow.
So Wednesday, February 1st, Dawn has already said that she has a
keto chow.
Keto chow.
It's in my future. I can see it. It's so close now.
But she has one in mind that she wants to do. And she's going to make me a keto shake for my lunch that day instead of taking, leftovers like I have been. I got to tell you.
We're going out for wings.
And we're going to go out for wings that night because that's one of our keto meals that we like to do together.
And we miss chicken.
We do. We really do. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to having a keto shake. I mean, I haven't had one in so long, and they are so fulfilling. They taste amazing. They're satisfying. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
That's it for now, guys. We're going to finish up dinner. We will read our chapter, and we will wrap up this video for you guys shortly. Okay. Chapter 24 in Dr. Berry's book is talking about processed meat. And the lie is, processed meats such as bacon, sausage, bologna, and hot dogs contain high levels of nitrates and nitrites, which will cause you to have cancer.
There's a common theme I'm noticing with almost every lie, and that is it's tied to cancer in some way, shape, or form.
I haven't seen a lie that says sugar causes cancer.
Not yet.
Because that's not a lie.
Oh.
I've never heard anybody say, oh, eating sugar causes cancer, but I guarantee you it does.
Oh, yeah.
Cancer feeds off of sugar. Anyway, that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother discussion. But basically what this boils down to is that there are no controlled studies that support this lie whatsoever.
There was a stat in here that talked about how many studies are claimed to be, and I don't know if we can find that number again.
Like 800 studies.
Yeah, something like that. It was some outrageous number of studies, but only, I think, 5 have been published.
Yeah, and one of the ones that was published that really got this lie up and running and out into the mainstream was a research paper done by MIT. But then again, they found all kinds of issues with it and flaws with it. The research paper was discredited and retracted, but then you never heard anything about that. The lie had already...
It already made its way out into the public eye, so...
And they, I mean, like I said, they just went with it. Part of it is the same thing we've talked about before, where these are not controlled studies. They're studying people who are not just eating processed meats. They're studying people who, they eat hot dogs.
And they're regular everyday Americans, but they have a lot of other vices.
They also smoke. They drink lots of beer. They never get off of the couch. And then they end up with cancer. Why are the hot dogs to blame?
Right.
Of all the things in their lifestyle that they're doing, they pull out that and say it was that caused it. When, like you said, they have tons of other vices. So yeah, the research is definitely tainted, and again, has been retracted, but the damage has already been done.
Very sketchy. Something else that I read in here too, and I know you read it as well. We mentioned in another chapter that the World Health Organization was tied into this. Well, this lie has also been tied into the World Health Organization. So the research group on cancer works under the World Health Organization, and so of course we already know what their agenda is. Their plant-based food thing, right? So I mean, that's clearly makes sense.
So Dr. Berry gets a little bit technical here, and he breaks down what a nitrate is and what a nitrite is. And obviously I'm not going to remember this, so I'm just going to tell you guys that nitrates occur at very high concentrations in celery and beets. Nitrates are currently being researched for their medicinal purposes as they improve blood pressure and reduce the risk of heart attack. Do you ever hear about that part of it? I've never heard that.
No. I mean, to be honest with you, I know what nitrates and nitrites are. I mean, I've heard of them. I'm not familiar with them. But I've really not heard a lot about the good or the bad on either side, to be honest with you. So this is kind of new to me.
The whole issue is that they say that these processed meats contain nitrates and nitrites.
Which is not a lie. They do.
Right. But he's telling you other things about nitrates and nitrites that we may not know. And as a matter of fact, I didn't know. So nitrites are produced in human saliva at hundreds of times the concentration found in cured meats. Nitrites also can be formed by chemically converting the nitrates found in celery and beets. Rufus is shaking. Sorry, you guys are probably hearing that. Celery and beet greens contain hundreds times more than an average hot dog. But they'll talk about the nitrates and nitrites in a hot dog, but not in
celery and beets.
He uses this analogy. He says, imagine if experts told us to avoid vegetables because of their water content, but said it's perfectly safe for us to drink a glass of water.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
They're telling you to avoid the nitrates and nitrites in processed meats, but it's okay to eat them in celeries and beets.
Oh, but there's more.
Yeah.
I mean, Dawn mentioned the saliva. So think about that for a minute. How many times a day do you swallow your own saliva? I mean, anytime you eat something, you're swallowing your saliva.
Well, let me jump back here because we're still talking about vegetables. So Dr. Berry says that more than 90% of the nitrates the average person consumes comes from vegetables. 90%. Celery, beet greens, and arugula contain more nitrates than 100 hot dogs.
And just like the steak that we were talking about before with the rodents, I'm not eating 100 hot dogs. I mean, come on.
No. And the bacon and hot dogs that say uncured or organic and nitrate free, they contain more nitrates than the cheaper processed meat and hot dogs because they're using the celery juice in those hot dogs. It has a higher amount of nitrates and nitrites in it.
And funny thing, Dawn and I were talking about this as we were reading this chapter. Some of the bacon, especially that we buy, you know, we're looking for uncured or cured without sugar.
I try to look at without sugar.
Without sugar. And so they use the celery juice, celery concentrate, however they word it, as their form of curing. Well, here we go. So we're actually eating more nitrates or nitrites than we would if we were just eating a hot dog or a couple hot dogs. So if the fear is real, I mean, we shouldn't do that. We would definitely not do that. But
as a matter of fact, go grab a package of our bacon. So this is the bacon that we buy. It's from Aldi.
It's from Aldi's.
It's called Never Any.
Yep.
And it's uncured bacon.
And if you see right on the package, it says no sugar, right?
It also says no nitrates and no nitrites on it.
So when you read the ingredients on this, it says pork, water, sea salt, cultured celery extract, and spice extract. I'm not 100% sure on this, but my guess would be that means that's what they use to help cure this, is the celery extract. I mean, it says no nitrates or nitrites added. But there's a star, there's an asterisk, except for those naturally occurring in sea salt and cultured celery extract. So I hadn't even read that before, but now we're reading it. So there you go.
So they're not adding nitrates and nitrites, but it's already in there, and we're actually getting more from the celery extract, is that what it was, celery extract, than we would from the actual nitrates or nitrites themselves. That's very interesting.
It is, and I will say this too, it does mention in sea salt, and I do recall that salt had nitrites in it, but he doesn't mention it in the chapter.
Right.
He doesn't talk about sea salt. But we found this bacon. We thought this was the cleanest bacon that we found.
We'd ever seen because there was no sugar or anything in there.
So
just real quick, guys, to wrap it up, Dr. Berry just basically says, if you fear nitrates, stop eating green vegetables. If you fear nitrites, stop swallowing your own spit.
Right.
Your own saliva, he says, but same thing. Stop swallowing your own spit. I mean, that's it. And I mean, I found this chapter very interesting because we had seen this. I read that on this package. I figured that the celery extract just meant it was very, very minimal nitrates and nitrites. Now reading this chapter, it leads me to believe that it's higher than just getting bacon that already has it in there.
Right.
And again, why are we worried about that? He's basically saying we shouldn't be worried about it.
And honestly, like I said, I didn't hardly know anything about it. Yeah. Nitrates and nitrites were I never thought about those ever until now.
We're getting edumacated, guys, big time.
I'm still not worried, and I'm going to continue to eat this bacon because I feel like it's the healthiest bacon out there.
I like it.
And we like it. It tastes good. It cooks up well, and it's a little, I think it's a little more inexpensive.
I think it's a little bit cheaper at Aldi than like any other bacon that we've looked at. There probably is a cheaper bacon, maybe at Walmart or something, but I don't know.
I know we're saving money on bacon because we were buying our bacon at Walmart, and it was about $2 more a package.
Yeah.
So we're definitely saving some money.
So that's it for tonight, guys. Wrapping up day number 28.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 3 more days.
Yep.
And you know what else is 3? Our granddaughter's 3. She just turned 3 today.
She's so cute because she knows now she's 3 and she holds up her 3 little fingers. And so I would tease her and say, "You're 1 today, right?" And she's like, "No, I 3." So she's so cute. That's it, guys. We will see you tomorrow.
That's right. Have a great night, everybody.
Guys, we almost forgot.
I can't believe we completely did the whole video and then forgot to mention this.
Yeah, guys, we hit 1,000 subscribers early this morning.
Early this morning, yeah. We went over, we were at 995, I think, last night.
Yeah.
And we woke up this morning and we were at 1,001.
I actually saw comments from people before I went in to look and see where I was at. So people were like, "Hey, great job. You guys have been cheering us on."
I know.
Like, all along
the closer
the way.
we got, right?
Yeah, so I actually saw some comments where people were like, "Great job, guys, on the 1,000 subs." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And I went in and looked, and I was at like 1,001 this morning.
So cool.
I cannot believe we forgot to mention that.
Yeah, so we want to thank all of you, obviously. That's awesome. Thank you for helping us get there.
Or if you shared our channel, we've had some people say that they've shared our channel with people and friends that they know that are keto. And it means a lot to us, guys.
Yeah. So thanks a lot.